Welcome into a special post-game edition of Friar Territory. I'm Kyle Glaser going solo tonight as the Padres stage their largest comeback of the season, falling behind 6-0, rallying to beat the Miami Marlins 8-6. The comeback kings are back. This is the Padres' fourth come-from-behind win in the last 5 nights. And not only that, it's their fifth comeback in their last 6 games when you consider the finale in Toronto, where they scored 2 runs in the ninth inning on Gavin Sheets' game-tying home run to force extra innings and were in position to win. 5 comebacks in the last 6 games, 4 comeback wins in the last 5 games. The Padres are back to doing what they did so well at the beginning of the year. That relentless offense that continues putting balls in play, takes advantage of defensive miscues, and keeps pouring it on again and again and again while the bullpen holds down a fort. This was a complete win in so many ways for the Padres, with so many players stepping up to help make this happen. First and foremost, big picture. This is the Padres' 14th comeback win this season. They are 31-22. Nearly half of their wins have been come from behind. And again, we've talked about so much this season how that resilience, that ability to chip away and bounce back from anything that ails them is what makes this team so unique and so special. And once again, they did it in front of a sellout crowd at Petco Park on a Tuesday night when school is still in session. And you saw the energy of the fan base. You saw the energy of the crowd, how that energized the team, gave them life. The Marlins certainly gave them a lot of life as well, with second baseman Ronnie Simon committing 3 errors and really 4 miscues. The Marlins once again opening the door, the Padres kicking it down. This is the winning formula for the Padres, playing relentless baseball, continuing to put the ball in play, forcing the defense to make a play. And more often than not, when they've done that this season, they've come away with a win. Again, we're seeing the Padres get back to the team that got off to that 7-0 start, that got off to that 15-4 start, that never gives up, that always stays composed in the batter's box, that puts together those quality at bats again and again and again and consistently puts the ball in play. While the pitching staff, whatever happens early, they bounce back to hold the line and give the offense time. We saw it in the opener on Monday. Randy Vasquez gave up 3 early runs. After that, he and the Padres bullpen shut the Marlins down through the 11th inning, giving the offense time to come back and win. And again, take advantage of some Marlins miscues. Connor Norby made a big error. And Tyler Wade, of course, scored the game-winning run on a wild pitch. But what we saw tonight was their most, in some ways, incredible comeback of the year, just because the sheer size of it. Down 6-0 in the first inning, with a decent pitcher on the mound in Max Meyer. And the Padres did what they do so well. Fernando Tatis Jr. getting it started with that big leadoff home run. But this was a team effort. 7 of the Padres' 9 starters recorded hits tonight. 4 different starters recorded multiple hits. And we saw them just chip away. 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third. It wasn't like it was one big inning. It wasn't like it was one player doing everything to get the job done. This was a complete team effort throughout the night. Finally, the go-ahead run in the 5th inning on Luis Arraez, a single, and Jackson Merrill, the final blow with a home run in the 8th. 8 unanswered runs for the Padres. Like I mentioned, there are so many players that deserve a lot of credit in this game for helping make this happen. But one player I want to highlight from the offense specifically is Luis Arraez. Arraez, facing his former team that traded him away last year, came through with the game-tying RBI single and then the go-ahead RBI single. So 6-5, he singled to left to make it 6-6. And then when it was 6-6, came through with another single up the middle to make it 7-6, complete the Padres comeback, give them their first lead of the night. And then, of course, Merrill added on. This is a particularly sweet moment for Luis Arraez. I think it's really important to go back and look at that trade that brought him to San Diego last year. Almost a year ago to the day, he was acquired in early May, so it's been a year and a couple of weeks. One of the things I've talked about a lot on this show, on radio shows, I've written about it, and what I think people need to understand is that models, as they're currently constructed and used by Major League Baseball teams, underweight contact as an input. And they really place a heavy emphasis on walk rate, home runs, and a lot of supplemental tools as well, those tool grades. A lot of times pure contact skills are really underweighted. And because of that, the data-driven teams, a team that is like the Marlins with Peter Bendix at the helm, that is so data-driven, they're going to underweight. They're going to underestimate the importance of pure contact and underestimate the importance of pure contact hitters. The Padres' acquisition of Luis Arraez last year, and I wrote about this at the time, I said it at the time as someone who's covered the system for years and years and years and years, was an absolute heist on the part of the Padres. And that was clear the moment the trade was made. And we've seen that play out. Nathan Martorella is currently struggling to hit 200 in the upper levels in the minors. Jacob Marcy is struggling to hit 200 in the upper levels in the minors. Dylan Head's a talented young player, but he's still in the low minors in A-ball. He's hitting 230. And of course, Woo Suk Go, who was quickly DFA'd. The Padres got the best pure hitter in the game for 0 top 100 prospects, the only one of whom Head projected to be an everyday type of player. And not only that, they got the Marlins to pay all of Arraez's salary and take Woo Suk Go's salary on. The Padres won this trade on talent and money the moment the trade was made. Fast forward to this game, and Luis Arraez facing the team, facing the front office that did not appreciate his skill set and that severely undervalued his skill set. And we know they severely undervalued his skill set because of who and what they traded him for and the money involved. Coming through and beating this team. Look, he was in an 0 for 14 slump. Every player is going to have their slumps. With Luis Arraez, you're not worried. For him to come out in a big way tonight, come through with the go-ahead RBI single, as well as the game-tying RBI single against this team, against this front office, this was extra sweet for him. This, in some ways, was a Luis Arraez revenge game and just illustrated how important he is to the Padres, how much of an impact he makes for the Padres, how big of a difference he makes for the Padres. Oh, by the way, made a really nice catch down along the first baseline as well, up against the netting. He continues to be a standout acquisition. The Padres acquired a star-level player for pennies on the dollar. And it was a masterstroke by AJ Preller, and it continues to be a masterstroke that pays off again and again and again. And it's really important to appreciate what Luis Arraez has done for this team, and especially tonight, just that extra sweetness of doing it against his former team, coming through with the big hits, going 3 for 5, everything he did, what he did in the field as well. Also turning that double play, stepped on first, through to second, on replay review is completed double play. This was, again, a Luis Arraez revenge game and just a big part of the Padres' success. Offensively, seeing Tatis get off the schneid a little bit, hitting that home run. Jackson Merrill hitting his first home run since earlier in the month as well. Good things to see all around. We saw good at-bats. We saw them work counts. We saw them be aggressive when there was a strike over the plate. And again, just that relentless put the ball in play again and again and again and again. And I want to give a lot of credit to Mike Cameron here, who talked about this on our show on Monday. The Marlins are a team who frequently beats themselves and makes a lot of mistakes in the field. This Marlins position player group is extremely young and extremely inexperienced. And Ronnie Simon was at the forefront of that tonight. Ronnie Simon is a rookie. He's a very young player. And we saw the Padres, by consistently putting balls in play, were able to take advantage of the Marlins' youth. And there were more plays than just Simon's errors, but those were the big ones, of course. Again, throwing that ball after, the single had deflected off his glove. He gets the ball in foul territory. He needs to hold on to that ball there. Instead, throws it to the catcher. It's an ill-advised throw, an error, boom, another run scores to make it 6-3. Jackson Merrill did a really good job screening him on the ball that was ruled a single. Probably should have been an error, but nonetheless, give Merrill some credit there. Kind of disrupted Simon's focus. And then again, Simon and Eric Wagaman not communicating on that ball in between them. Simon boots it. Another free base runner sets up more runs. And then, of course, on the double play ball, he tries to backhand it, or tries to backhanded flip, goes over the shortstop's head. Another error. He eventually gets pulled. But we saw other things from the Marlins, too. We saw a lack of communication. There was a fly ball in the outfield early on Elias Diaz fly ball that almost resulted in a collision. I talked about some of the mistakes they made Monday. The Padres knew the scouting report. They had the right approach. Just keep putting balls in play against this team, against this defense. You will catch breaks. And that's exactly what happened. The Padres down 6-0, come back and score 8 unanswered runs, 13 hits. Again, this is when the Padres are at their best, when they're putting the ball in play again and again and again and again, keeping their approach simple, making the defense make a play. So many teams in Major League Baseball now do not play clean fundamental defense. So many teams in Major League Baseball do not respond to pressure on the base pass. And the Marlins, a young team in particular, We knew coming in this was a weakness. So I think you really, really have to give the Padres hitters credit for having the right approach down 6-0. They weren't up there trying to hit home runs 450 feet. They weren't trying to change the game with one swing. Even Tatis's home run, it's an opposite field, line drive that just snuck inside the foul pole. It wasn't like one of his big, big home runs. It was kind of a nice inside out swing, and the ball just carried. The Padres are getting back to the right approach, and we've seen them grind through at bats and get back in ball games again and again and again throughout this recent stretch. Again, 4 comeback wins in 5 days. That's a special stretch. And really, it's been 5 comebacks in 6 days. They just couldn't finish off the comeback in Toronto. The comeback kings are back. This was a signature win for the Padres. You have to take care of business against teams like this. The Padres did so tonight. We have a lot more to talk about, including Stephen Kolek's effort as well as the bullpen. We're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Todd Father and I are from Jersey, so we're used to, I got a guy. But sometimes that just means when I'm looking for a car, I go to Car Gurus.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, the best part about this is communication, which we love here in Jersey where we're from. And this is a place where you can get a car. The price drops all the time, and they let you know. They let you know when your car is ready and when you can get it. The communication part is the best thing for me, Scott.
Agreed. In-depth vehicle reviews. Car Gurus will connect you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent and hassle-free buying process with over 4 million listings. They have more car listings than any other major online automotive marketplace in the U.S., so you can find the best deal. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com.
Welcome back to Friar Territory. I'm Kyle Glaser. Before the break, we talked extensively about the work this offense did to erase a 6-0 deficit, score 8 unanswered runs, and come back to win 8-6. Once again, the Padres' biggest comeback win of the year. But we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the pitching staff, particularly the effort of Stephen Kolek, who delivered a historic outing. He became the first pitcher this century, the first pitcher since Bartolo Colon in 1999, to surrender 6 earned runs in the first inning and come back and earn the win. Stephen Kolek had a lot of bad luck that first inning, a lot of ground balls that found holes, but nonetheless, it was a long, laborious inning. Stephen Kolek threw 38 pitches in that first inning, gave up 6 earned runs, put the Padres in a hole. It takes a tremendous amount of mental fortitude, of resilience, of mental strength to come back from that. What does he do? Shuts the Marlins down from there, pitches into the 6th inning. Again, normally when you have a 38 pitch first inning, your pitch count's going to climb very, very, very quickly. It's hard to get past the 3rd or 4th innings, especially the 5th when you have a 38 pitch inning on your ledger. And he pitched into the 6th, completed 5 1/3 innings. Just a gutsy effort by Stephen Kolek. On a night he didn't have his best command, we saw that early in the first inning, on a night where, again, there were some bad breaks, a lot of balls were finding holes, and for him to come out and do what he did and give the Padres needed length. Let's not forget, the Padres used 5 relievers in an extra inning game the night before. Their bullpen needed a little bit of a rest. They're in the midst of a stretch of 23 games in 24 days. They don't have a lot of arms to spare right now. It was critical for him to pitch deeper into that game. The Padres would not have been in a good position if they had had to use 7 relievers to try and finish that game out. Give Stephen Kolek all the credit in the world. He continues to show just an impressive resilience, throwing a shutout in Coors Field, pitching 5 1/3 scoreless innings in his first career start. The outing he had tonight, especially coming off of what was his worst outing of the season. Excuse me, he had a solid outing in Toronto, but he had a rough outing prior to that. Again, we're seeing this theme over and over and over again with this team. Mike Schultz has instilled it. The players have embraced it. 1-26. And in the case of a guy like Stephen Kolek, a call-up beyond 1-26. Just an incredible effort from him. And the final takeaway from tonight that I think is really important is the bullpen is back. We talked so much about this bullpen being the strength of this team early in the season. And then they fell into a little bit of a rut. They caught a big break on Friday against the Braves when Eli White committed a base running blunder on what should have been the game-tying hit. it looked like another blown save was coming for Robert Suarez. And sometimes all you need is you catch a break, you take a deep breath, and then everything seems to come a lot easier. The Padres bullpen has thrown 12 and a third scoreless innings. There's a typo on this graphic. I apologize for that. 12 and a third scoreless innings over their last 3 games. We saw on Sunday after Dylan Cease pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. The bullpen came in through 4 scoreless innings. That is what gave the Padres time to come back and win. On Monday night, extra innings, the bullpen comes in, throws 4 and a third scoreless innings. Again, holds the line, giving the Padres offense time to come back, which they did with Manny Machado's game-tying home run. And then, of course, Tyler Wade winning it in the 11th. And once again tonight, Stephen Kolek holds the line after the first inning, pitches into the 6th, and the bullpen finishes it with 4 2/3 scoreless innings. Once again, just an incredible, incredible effort by this bullpen. 3 2/3 scoreless innings tonight. It was 4 2/3 scoreless innings on Monday night. So this bullpen right now is riding high with 12 and a third scoreless innings over their last 3 games. And in each game, the Padres have needed that because they were behind in each game. The bullpen has held the line, and the offense has taken advantage of the time that the bullpen buys them, and they eventually come through, whether it's the middle innings, whether it's the late innings. This is the formula the Padres were using so effectively early in the season. Starter gives them 5-6 quality innings. Even if there's a bump in there, they're able to pitch deep enough. The bullpen holds the opponent scoreless for the final 3 or 4 innings, and the offense continues to put ball in play after ball in play after ball in play after ball in play. They run the bases aggressively. They make the defense work. They put pressure on the opposing team. And eventually the dam breaks. Eventually the opportunities come, and the Padres kick down the door. The Padres right now are 31 and 22. They are back in sole possession of second place in the National League West. They're on pace for a 90-plus win season. And we've talked about this team. The highs have been really, really, really high, and the lows have been really, really, really low. They've certainly played at the extremes this year. But when we talk about what this team is capable of, when we talk about what this team has shown us they can do, it's pretty special that there is no deficit they can't come back from. We've seen them come back against good teams like the Braves, like the Yankees, like the Guardians. We've seen them take care of business and come back against bad teams when they need a spark, like the Pirates, like the Marlins, whether it's a 6-run deficit, a 3-run deficit, a game where the offense is humming, a game where the offense is really struggling, whatever state the pitching staff is in terms of injuries. They find ways to win. They do the little things necessary to win. They make the opponent make plays to beat them. They don't beat themselves. That's what they do when they're right. And right now, the Padres are right. 4 comeback wins in their last 5 games, 5 comebacks total in the last 6 games. That's rare. That's special. That's something to really, really appreciate and not take for granted. Again, kudos to everyone involved. Kudos to Luis Arraez. Kudos to Fernando Tatis and Jack Merrill with the 2 homers. Jake Cronenworth, by the way, has been very, very underappreciated what he's done for the Padres this year. 2 for 4 night tonight, 2 runs scored, drove in a run. He's got an 851 OPS. He's got an on-base percentage up in the 390s now. He has very quietly been a huge, huge, huge part of the Padres' success when he's been healthy. And again, Manny Machado, another hit tonight. He's continuing to come through with big hits and big moments. Tyler Wade stepping up in left field, delivering, a hit, RBI, run. I mean, just doing a little bit of everything, giving the Padres some production at the bottom of the order. Everyone's chipping in. And once again, too, we talk about the bullpen and how good they were tonight, finishing with 3 2/3 scoreless innings. It wasn't the A bullpen. It was Sean Reynolds, another former Marlin, who came over in the Ryan Weathers trade, an inning and a third scoreless. Yuki Matsui, who we've seen be really good at times, other times struggles with his control, comes in with a scoreless inning. Jeremiah Estrada. Look, Robert Suarez was down tonight. The Padres needed someone to step up and lock this game down at the end. And Jeremiah Estrada, who was so good early, and then ran into a stretch where he was looking pretty human. He's been much, much better recently. Comes in, pitches an inning and a third for the save. Again, it wasn't like it was just, hey, come in and pitch 1 inning. He went more than an inning to lock down the save, recorded the 4-out save, his first of the year. Again, just give credit to everyone involved. This was a great, great win for the Padres. Yes, it's the Marlins. Yes, it's a team you should beat. But there's going to be games over the course of the season where you have to scratch and claw your way back against all caliber of teams. And finding ways to win against the teams you're supposed to beat, that matters. That counts for something. And again, to a man, the Padres put together a fantastic performance, scratching and clawing their way back. The offense putting ball in play after ball in play after ball in play, taking advantage of the Marlins' mistakes, knowing this is a defense that's susceptible to mistakes if you just continue putting pressure on them, continue putting balls in play. Stephen Kolek bouncing back, the bullpen doing its job. All the way around, another signature win for the Padres this season. Now they'll look to finish off a series sweep against the Marlins. They have an afternoon matinee on Wednesday. Then they get a day off, and then another run of 26 games and 27 games begins Friday against the Pirates. But if they can come away, they've already clinched a series win over the Marlins, which is what you need. They'll go up against San Diego Padres tomorrow, trying to go for the sweep. We'll see if they're able to finish it off. All in all, a banner night for the Padres, a banner night for all who watched it at Petco Park. Once again, a sellout crowd on a Tuesday against the last place team when school is still in session. The fans continue to show up and show out at Petco Park, creating a really, really special atmosphere. And with the characteristics this team is showing and the fan base behind it, we keep seeing the potential for a special, special, special season. We'll see if they're able to keep it up. This has been a special post-game edition of Friar Territory here on the Foul Territory Network. I'm Kyle Glaser. We've got more shows coming up this week. Heath Bell will be joining us on Thursday. Make sure and tune in for that. Go ahead and give us a review, subscribe, leave us a comment on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever platform you're watching and listening on. We'd love to hear from you. The subscriptions help us out. The likes help us out. The comments help us out. Let us know. Let's talk some Padres baseball. This is a season worth talking about and a team worth talking about as they keep showing us again and again. Thank you for tuning in to this special episode of Friar Territory. We'll be back with Heath Bell on Thursday. Have a good night, everybody.